The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. The Health Department reminds the public to refrain from using prohibited and illegal firecrackers to prevent injuries. This as authorities have recorded 2 additional cases of pyro-related injuries as of yesterday. Now, because of this, the total number of pyro-related injuries since December 21 has risen to 25. The figure is now over 100% higher compared to the 13 cases recorded in the same period last year. Most of the injuries were among minors aged 9 to 16 years old, with illegal firecrackers such as Boga, 5-Star, and Piccolo accounting for the top cases or causes of injuries. Now, with New Year just around the corner, people are flocking to Bocaue, Bulacan to buy fireworks in time for the celebrations. To give us more details, we have JC Cosico reporting to us live from Bulacan. JC, good morning. How many people are currently shopping for noisemakers there in Bocaue?
Riza, we have no count yet on the number of shoppers of fireworks and firecrackers here in Bocaue. But since this morning, they continue to come and go since apart from its Rizal Day today. It's also a day before New Year's Eve. And some shoppers even came all the way from the provinces like Batangas and Rizal just to buy noisemakers here in Bocaue. Riza.
JC, now that we know that authorities have actually warned against using firecrackers and even torotot, are these still for sale?
Yes, Riza, there are still vendors of torotots here in the area. It is being sold from 50 to 200 pesos depending on the design. But what vendors are saying is that people should not let others use their own torotots to avoid the possible transmission of COVID-19. And there are also torotots which creates noise through pumping, which they say is much safer. Riza.
It looks very busy there, JC. Tell us, what kind of fireworks are available and how much are they?
Riza, among the best sellers here are aerial fireworks, which costs around 21,000 pesos, from 1,200 to 21,000 pesos, depending on the number of shots. Lucis from 80 to 400 pesos, and Fountain from 30 to 1,500 pesos. Now, these prices are expected to increase tomorrow. That's why vendors are telling the public that they should buy now. Riza.
Until what time are the stores open?
Riza, there are shops here which will remain 24 hours as they expect last-minute shoppers to flock here in Bocaue. But according to some vendors, the sales are much better this year compared to last year. But Riza, supplies are limited because of the lack of chemicals being used to make these items. That's why vendors are reminding the public to shop as early as now. Riza.
Thank you for that report and stay safe. That's JC Corsico reporting live from Bulacan. Now, the Tourism Department is now investigating rumors circulating online of one hotel which allegedly allowed a person positive with Omicron variant to leave quarantine. The person, referred to by netizens as Poblacion Girl, is trending online for allegedly flouting quarantine rules and attended parties in Makati City after paying off the quarantine hotel they were staying at. According to the Tourism Department, they have now directed the hotel responsible to submit the response to allegations within 3 days. The agency also warned all quarantine hotels that failure to comply with health protocols may result in fines, imprisonment, or administrative penalties depending on the gravity of the offense. Global COVID-19 cases top 1 million for the second straight day on Wednesday. Nitu Abad of CDC's Global Immunization Division discusses what governments can do to stop the rising infections on Bloomberg Markets America. Let's listen in.
We're hearing from ER professionals that the majority, the vast majority of cases coming into the ER with this Omicron variant are folks that are unvaccinated. Just give us a sense of kind of how this has evolved in this country and what we can do to maybe try to improve those odds.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. And, I think that we have seen since the start of the pandemic, people have questions around these vaccines. They are newer vaccines for most people. And so there are questions about the safety and efficacy and how they kind of work. And so we've been doing our best to answer those questions and address those concerns. And of course, we know that there are pockets of lower trust in the system, and we are working at CDC to address that and to increase trust in the system that provides the vaccines. And so that's what you're seeing now is it's a longer process for some, but there is no wrong time to start vaccination, to get vaccinated.
Does it make it more difficult? I mean, the fact that Paul and I, we got our first couple of shots and we thought, cool, we're good to go. We don't have to wear a mask anymore. We're not going to get the virus. And now you've got to wear a mask pretty much everywhere you go. And even vaccinated people are getting the virus pretty easily.
Yes, I think that the complex nature of this virus and the changing science and what we're learning every day, it can be challenging to communicate that, to the public and to let them know what we know as we know it. And, and I think that process takes time. And like I said, it also takes trust. And so we're in this stage where we're really building the support for kind of what we're doing and trying to get people to understand it and to translate that science into understandable pieces of information in real time. Time after time, study after study has demonstrated that vaccination, that boosters are the best way to protect yourself and your family from COVID-19. We know that some people, really listen to their healthcare providers. They've got trusted providers in their lives. When they go to their doctor's office and they have that one-on-one conversation, that is a great way to get people to kind of come around to understand the parts and processes here. And then other people, they're listening to people in their church or they're listening to people in their community circles. And yet other people can be reached by family and friends who are sharing their stories about why they're getting vaccinated. So it's really an across the board effort that we're engaged in here at CDC.
We have some breaking news. President Duterte has signed into law the national budget for 2022, as well as the bill creating the Department of Migrant Workers. The ceremonial signing happened this morning at Malacanang. The 2022 budget, amounting to 5.024 trillion pesos, is significantly higher by 11.5% than this year's budget. Meanwhile, the Department of Migrant Workers will handle the recruitment, employment, and deployment of OFWs. The President and the Vice President are joining the nation in commemorating the martyrdom of Gat Jose Rizal. In a statement, President Duterte said that as we remember Rizal's contribution to our freedom and self-determination, may we continue to honor him by exemplifying patriotism and idealism in all our endeavors, as well as fostering a greater sense of nationalism among the youth. Duterte also called on the nation to also honor our frontliners who serve as modern-day heroes. Meanwhile, Vice President Leni Robredo said that we are all called to put into practice the teachings of Rizal to be united, hopeful, and compassionate to others. Robredo said, may we also be reminded of the words of Elias Enoli Metangere, that is, to face the sunrise without forgetting the darkness of the night. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News.
Okay. Okay.
You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. Prices of lechon have shot up as demand grows just a day before the country welcomes 2022. Dale De Vera this time is joining us live from the lechon capital, La Loma, in Quezon City to give us the latest. Dale.
Riza, for most Filipinos, holiday feast is not complete without the iconic lechon. Just a day before Medianoche, people continue to put in their reservation in anticipation of a higher demand tomorrow. Stores in the famed lechon capital of the country are preparing as it expects higher demand right before New Year's Eve. Prices have gone up since Christmas amid issues in supply and demand on the back of loosened restrictions. From the usual 6,000 to 15,000, lechon now costs between 9,500 to 21,500 pesos, depending on the size of the roast pig. Lechon makers are set to prepare at least thousands for tomorrow's celebrations. They say the peak of demand for lechon will begin by tomorrow afternoon. Riza, while prices of what many consider as the star of the festivity have gone up, what matters is that the public continues to exercise minimum health protocols during gatherings to prevent the possibility of having another surge in COVID cases. Riza?
Thank you for that update and stay safe. That's Dale De Vera reporting live from La Loma, Quezon City. Now here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. The Octa research warrants new COVID-19 cases in the country may reach 8,000 per day by January. Commissioner Rowena Guanzon will preside over the preliminary conference of the disqualification petition filed by Akbayan against Bongbong Marcos. And the Limitless app becomes the first ever grand champion of the PBA 3-on-3 tournament. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 2 in the afternoon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.